Assalamualaikum, my name is Nurul Aimardia binti Rozaki. I would like to present our study entitled The Relationship Between Study Hours and Exam Scores. This study focuses on how study time may influence students' academic performance. For the first slide, it will be introduction. The balance between academic input and measurable output is important in determining educational success. This study focuses on two main variables, which are study hours and exam scores. This variable represents students' learning strategies, dedication, and academic performance. We use correlation and regression analysis to study the relationship between the two variables. The purpose is to understand whether study hours can influence exam scores. Students who spend more time studying are usually expected to achieve better results. However, the relationship may differ for each student depending on their learning methods and consistency. So next we move to motivation. The first motivation of this study is academic performance insight. This helps identify students' learning efficiency and proficiency levels. The second motivation is resource planning. Educators and institutions can use this information to provide tutoring sessions or better learning materials. For example, if a student studies consistently but still get low scores, educators can provide additional academic support. The third motivation is success stability. This study helps determine whether student academic performance is improving or declining. Lastly, this project allows us to apply statistical methods such as correlation and regression analysis in a real-life situation. After that, for objective, there are three objectives in this study. The first objective is to determine the strength and direction of the relationship between study hours and exam scores. The second objective is to develop a linear regression model to predict exam scores based on study hours. The regression model can also help estimate future academic performance based on student study habit. The third objective is to identify academic performance patterns among the sample students. Then, for data information, the data set used in this study was obtained from Kaggle. Kaggle is a popular platform that provides datasets for students, researchers, and data analysts. The dataset is called the Student Performance Dataset. It focuses on study hours and exam scores. The sample size for this study is 30 students. The scope of the study is to analyze the relationship between time spent studying and students' exam performance.
My name is Nur Aida binti Rizwan, and I will be taking you through the technical framework and finding of our research. For this study, we collected secondary data from a sample of 30 students to analyze the academic impact of preparation time. Our methodology centers on a quantitative approach using Microsoft Excel as our primary statistical tool. To determine the strength of the relationship between variables, we applied simple linear regressions and correlation analysis in this model. Moving on to our interesting findings, please look at the scatter plot. You can see a clear upward trend. As study hour increase, exam score tend to follow. To quantify this, we calculated the Pearson correlation coefficient using the formulation, which factor in our sample size of 30 and the sum of our variable, we achieve an R value of 0.8949. In statistical terms, an R value is close to 1 indicate a strong positive correlation. This confirms that study hours are a significant and reliable predictor of exam success. Furthermore, our coefficient of determination R squared is 0.8009. This is a key finding. It implies that 80.09% of the variation in student exam score is directly due to the time they spend studying. Now let's look at the predictive power of our study through the linear regression equation. We calculated our slope, which is b, and intercept, which is a, to form the equation y equal to 5.37 to 8s plus 40.9408. There are two vital takeaways from this formula. One, the intercept 40.94. This suggests that if a student studies for 0 hours, their predicted score would be approximately 40.94. Second, the slope 5.37. This tells us that for every additional hour a student hits the book, their score is expected to increase by an average of 5.37 points. For example, if a student studies for 7 hours, we can plug that into our formula to predict a score of 78.5. In conclusion, while study hours are the dominant factor, they don't tell the whole story. The remaining of 19.91% of score variance is influenced by outside variables like sleep quality, prior knowledge, or the efficiency of study method used. To build on this research, we have identified 3 areas for future work. Firstly, expanding the sample size, moving beyond 30 students to see if this trend holds across different academic disciplines. Secondly, incorporate new variables, adding data on sleep duration and prior knowledge to explain that remaining 19.91% gap. Lastly, analyze diminishing returns, investigating if there is an optimal limit where more studying actually leads to burnout and lower score. To wrap things up, our analysis has shown a very clear message. The time we invest in our studies has a direct and powerful impact on our result. Based on the data, with a strong correlation of 0.89 and R-square value of 80%, it is scientifically proven that consistent effort is the main engine behind academic success.
However, beyond the numbers and the graph, it is important to remember that it's not just about how long we study, but also how well we study. We hope that by sharing these findings, it gives a clearer perspective on how to manage time effectively and stay motivated throughout the semester.
We would like to express our deepest gratitude to our lecturer for her continuous guidance throughout this project.
We hope that the insight from our presentation today can be a useful reference for all students in achieving their academic goals.
That is all from us. Thank you very much and goodbye.